Now that the executive of President Cyril Ramaphosa has been strengthened, has Luthuli House, where the center of power lies, been left vulnerable, a place where the wounded can regroup. But first, the conundrum that is the ANC's Integrity Commission. Has it become a political tool to be used by political opponents in the battle over access for state resources and the levers of power? I'm Aldrin Simpier, and welcome to the PolitBureau. "23 names flagged by the ANC's Integrity Commission ahead of the elections, considering that, as the Secretary-General Ace Magashule said at the NEC meeting at the weekend, well, everyone is in Parliament who was flagged. Does this mean that they have been cleared? But coupled with this is what some ANC members have argued is the inconsistencies of the Commission, and some saying disband the Integrity Commission. Take a listen to what Ace Magashule had to say at the weekend at that NEC meeting about the Integrity Commission.
We are going to consistently follow that law of natural justice, and that's why we are actually going to discuss even the report of the integrity in a separate meeting, because we want to say a person must be heard. You can't judge and find a person guilty in the public space and you say the person is guilty. We're correcting all those things. They will never ever happen again.
Well, joining me in studio to discuss this is the NEC member and national spokesperson, Pule Mabe. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Have those people been cleared?
Well, morning, Aldrin, and morning to your viewers. We began with our Special National Executive Committee on Friday to look into a number of things. And when we concluded the NEC, we issued a statement, and that statement did say that we have received a preliminary report of the Integrity Commission, and that there would be, that those discussions are ongoing. So it would be at the point when we receive the full report to know, like the SG had said, that that work is ongoing to the extent that all of the other comrades need to also be called. So it could be that there are still those that are still yet to appear. We are expecting such meeting to happen much sooner.
But taking into consideration that at least the deputy president of the ANC was sworn in, and he had raised issues that he wants to be cleared first before he's sworn in as a member of parliament.
Yes.
Has he been cleared?
Well, Aldrin, like I am saying, that the expectation is that when we get the report, we will then know. But maybe I must address one thing. The Integrity Commission doesn't pronounce on the innocence or guilt of individuals. What it does is it makes its own observations. Because the Integrity Commission, established in terms of the supreme law of the ANC, which is our own constitution, amended and adopted at the 54th National Conference through Rule 24.1 and Rule 24.2. And in there, the Constitution empowers the National Executive Committee to lay out terms of references and also appoint an Integrity Commission whose work, whose original powers are derived from that National Executive Committee. And that, but also it goes further to even speak to instances under which the NEC or officials interact with the IC. That it is them who actually refer matters to the Integrity Commission, either officials or the National Executive Committee. And this could happen through something called a statement of complaint. Once the IC has concluded its work, it will then give its recommendations to the structure that had initially entrusted it with the responsibility to undertake such work.
Let me ask it this way.
Yes.
Has the deputy president of the ANC been removed from the list of 23 people who were flagged?
Like I'm saying, Aldrin, we are still yet to receive a report.
So he has not?
Look, we are still yet to receive a report. What I can assure you of is that no one is either guilty or innocent of any wrongdoing. Comrades had to go to the Integrity Commission to go and provide clarities. Remember, those were objections that might have been lodged with the IEC.
Yes.
It is not issues that originated from the African National Congress. So now, so the SGO would have taken all of those objections of individuals that would have been flagged by that IEC process. And then those were subsequently invited to appear. That's how the 23 names ultimately came out.
But seemingly those names, even though it comes from the process of the objections that were raised with the IEC, the Integrity Commission of the party must have upheld that and said that to the NEC, here are the 23 names, these names have been flagged. And I ask again, has the Deputy President of the ANC been removed from that list? Because he himself had said that I want my name to be cleared in the statement that was issued by the President of the ANC.
Correct.
So now what is the status of the Deputy President of the ANC? Well, is he still on the 23, on the list of 23 people?
Aldrin, what I'm trying to clarify here is that being on the list of 23 doesn't suggest that you are guilty of any wrongdoing.
But then why did the NEC ask the SGO ask the Integrity Commission to look into the list? Because
this, like I said, this would have been objections deposited with the IEC.
But now, what was the intention?
Remember, we sent the whole list of 800 odd names that also included provincial legislatures. So now, the most credible process that we shall have used was what the objections that would have come through the IEC process. I mean, most of these things were quite frivolous.
Yes or no? Is the Deputy President still on the list of 23 people?
But
yes or no?
Alvin, he is on the list.
So he still remains on the list.
But being on the list, I think the point I'm trying to clarify is that being on the list doesn't mean that he is guilty of anything. You know, the Deputy President, as part of the 23 that were flagged by that process, appeared before the Integrity Commission. So it means that when the report of the IC ultimately lands on the desk of the National Executive Committee, it will effectively give clarity on all of the individual comrades that they shall have
the terms of reference of the Integrity Commission, has that been adopted?
Well, we are expecting to finalize that. There were terms of reference in a draft format.
Yeah.
At the September NEC. So we are expecting that when we sit later with them, and something that, well, not even later, when we sit with them sometime sooner, one of the things that will have to be clarified is the terms of reference that govern and guide the work of the Commission, so that there is clarity out in the public on the work that the Integrity Commission is expected to discharge on our behalf. Because, I'll tell you why. Because we must remove a notion that seeks to portray the Integrity Commission of the ANC as a kangaroo court or a quasi-judicial Chapter 9 institution of the African National Congress. So they are custodians of morality and conduct in the movement.
So would you then agree that the ANC, NEC, must have been too hasty in having the Integrity Commission started to work, considering that you now have these inconsistencies? For instance, the Integrity Commission is able to tell somebody like Denim Caesar in Limpopo that you must step down from that position, yet it can't do the same with the Deputy President of the ANC.
No. But we are talking about two separate processes.
But it is the Integrity Commission. It's
yes,
the same
yes.
commission, yeah.
You see, the powers of the Integrity Commission, even without terms of references, are already contained in here. You know, the Rule 24.1 and Rule 24.2 already clarify. So there is clarity. All you do with your terms of reference is to now embolden the sort of detail on the things or work that they are expected to discharge. You will remember that you are talking about a VBS matter, and you are also talking about an IEC issue.
Yeah.
Where there are, I mean, if an objection is raised by the DA...
But let me ask you this then, Pule. Does the Integrity Commission of the ANC, with the current draft terms of reference, have the power to tell somebody who's been elected by ANC members to a position to step aside?
They can make that recommendation. Remember what happened is that even with the VBS issue, they made a recommendation. That's why the report must come to the NEC, because when they make the recommendation, when the NEC adopts recommendations of the IEC or of the IC, they immediately become applicable.
Final one. There are some people who are saying that the Integrity Commission should be disbanded. Just a stance from the ANC-NEC side with regards to this?
Well, we can't disband the Integrity Commission. In our own National Executive Committee, that discussion never even happened. Actually, I'm seeing it for the first time here on your screens. Because we must first understand, why did the ANC 54th National Conference agree to have an Integrity Commission? Because we wanted to make sure that we consolidate the moral standing of the party, these are watchdogs of our own values. Now, if there are issues of discipline, those issues will still have to be dealt with by the National Disciplinary Committee. So the Integrity Commission doesn't replace all other structures that are supposed to preside on matters of ill discipline that could erode the standing of our own cadres in that way. All they are doing is to look at issues of moral standing and issues of upholding our own values as a movement that prides itself with being a leader of society. So we must represent the best of amongst our people.
Okay, thank you so much, Pule Mabo, spokesperson of the ANC. After the break, has Luthuli House been left vulnerable as President Cyril Ramaphosa's most trusted got a 5-year lease to move into ministerial houses?